Hi, welcome back to See Today Business. Now, religious holiday allowances, known as THR in Indonesia, are eagerly awaited benefits for both civil servants and private workers. THR is given annually before Eid al-Fitr or Christmas, calculated from basic salary plus allowances and varies by company and tenure. According to Regulation Number 6 of 2016 by the Manpower Minister, private employees receive their THR payment 7 days before Eid al-Fitr. Meanwhile, the government will disburse the holiday allowance for civil servants from March the 22nd, 10 days prior to Eid al-Fitr. Since the THR will soon be disbursed, now let's talk more about managing religious holiday allowances wisely with certified financial planner Metta Anggriani. Hi, Mbak Metta. Thank you for being here again.
Yes, hello Malia. Thank you for inviting me here again.
Yes, so this is a happy time for everyone, especially the one who is employed, of course,
right?
But not the company owners because they're going to be disbursing THR. So let's talk about the percentage of how we manage this THR bonus. We want to enjoying the bonus, but what is the percentage between spending it for our lifestyle versus savings and investments?
Right. I think the THR itself will be used for supporting the Ramadan and Raya expenses, right? But I think I would like to give the simpler allowances, right? Maybe 10, 20, 30, 40.
All right.
So like 10%, maybe we should allocate it for zakat and other social expenses.
The alms.
And 20% for savings and investment. 30% if you want to go for a mudik, homecoming
trips.
Or maybe a holiday, so because it will be like quite a long holiday, right? And then maybe the rest 40% for the the Raya expenses. You have to also give the THR for your domestic workers, maybe your foods, hampers, clothing, and everything. So it's a festive period, right? Like we have to enjoy the moments. But I guess you can adjust it as per your own needs, right? I think, like for example, if you don't go for the homecoming, if you don't go outside your homes, so maybe you can allocate more on the zakat or maybe more for investment. Or maybe if you have other needs in the near future, like for example, if you have to pay for the kids' school tuition fee, maybe in the next
coming soon, yeah.
That's coming soon.
New
or maybe
academic year.
Yes, or maybe we have to prepare for the Eid al-Adha because there will be kurban expenses and there's no longer THR, right?
That's
right.
True.
And I think it will be good also to consider if you use some of the amounts of your THR for debt payment. So I guess it will be also releasing your financial burden after the Lebaran, right? Yeah. So I guess the allocations will depends on your own needs, but I guess that 10, 20, 30% allocation would be used as a base for you to consider what's to allocate during the.
So you just don't use it for anything that you want to buy because you think that you have extra money.
Right.
Do we have to separate that, like our account and this account that consists of our allowance?
Of course.
Make sure that it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, like if we have a job and we have like a monthly salary, we should still consider the monthly salary for our operational expenses.
Right.
And the THR is actually an additional annual income, right? And of course, we use for the Lebaran expenses itself. But again, it is now better to use it to allocate some for for your other needs as well. So I guess again, like for example, maybe the Ramadan expense itself, maybe we can finance it from our salary. Like for meals, for sahur, takjil, breakfasting, the buka puasa bersama. Those will be quite
costly,
right? But again, for the Eid al-Fitr expenses, when you have to prepare for the foods on the D-Day, you have to pay for your transportation for going for a homecoming. You have to pay for the domestic workers. You have to giving out for the family and for all the needies.
Right.
Those maybe we can finance it from the THR. So please still separate it between salary and THR itself.
Now, if you consider the current market conditions, the impact of the Fed rate, for example, we know that it's probably going to be on the safe side for the fifth consecutive time. So can you suggest investment options that individuals can actually consider when deciding to invest their THR bonuses? Supposedly long-term investment, short-term, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, right now the Fed rate and the Bank Indonesia rate is still at its level, right? But it will be predicted to go lower maybe in the last semester of this year. But at this point, it is still very high. So I guess the impact for us as consumer, because the interest rate is high. So it means both the savings rate and also for the credit rate, right? So for us, I mean, like if we have some amount on THR that we want to invest with, I think the savings rate is still increasing, so we can use for safety. If you are conservative enough, we can place it in the bank deposits or maybe in the bonds or sukuk. There will be one offering right now, and alternatively we can also do it in the Sharia investment. Like the Sharia bonds, like sukuk, Sharia mutual fund, or Sharia stocks, or maybe we can also invest in gold. Right? It's always a good investment.
Okay, so because it only comes like annually, so longer term investments versus short-term investment, which is more advisable according to?
Well, for me, I would think that, the THR itself, that is the additional annual income that we can use for financing our annual expenses. Like for example, we have to pay taxes, in personal income tax, property tax later in August, or maybe you have to, your vehicle tax that you have to pay it yearly, or maybe you have to pay like the annual insurance premium, or anything that is the annual expense. We can finance it from our THR because it's additional income, right? So I guess it would be better to use it for the short-term investment, because then you can park some money in some instrument, and when the date arises, you can pay it. For longer-term investment, I would still think that it is better to finance it from our regular monthly salary. Because then if we do it monthly, consistently, then I think it will give a maximum result for the longer term. Right. Maybe the amount will not be so extravagant, but again, longer term, the key is to have it consistently.
All right. Thank you very much, Mbak Metta, for sharing with us once again. And hopefully this can be giving insights for our audience, how to wisely spend and invest our allowance of religious allowance. All right, so we are going for a break now. And when we return, we're going to have live from Indonesia Stock Exchange for our daily recap from stock market. So you don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.